Okay, so Bitcoin is tanking aggressively and is continuing to fall, but this is very exciting for me. I'm gonna explain to you guys why. And I did buy into a new swing trade. So here it is. I put 50K 15 minutes before US market close into IBIT. I'm gonna explain why IBIT and how I'm approaching this, expecting lower prices and a few things behind that as well. So if you guys weren't aware, a lot of this aggressive drop liquidating a ton of leverage shorts on the Bitcoin heat map could be due to the recent tariff news that came out with the 100% tariffs on some Chinese goods. I forgot exactly what category they were. But the idea here is that if you guys remember, um, so that 50K into IBITs, I'm going to get into it in a moment. But if you guys remember, the last few times I tried opening a short term swing trade long on Bitcoin. Now, when it comes to investing in Bitcoin, actually, the long term holdings, I don't buy IBITs or BitU or anything like that for that. That's completely done separately. So again, I'm talking about short-term trading. So please remember, everything I say in this video is just my own opinion. I like to share with you guys and what I'm looking for. So please do your own research and due diligence. But to get started, again, a lot of those swing trades I tried opening, we ended up hitting short-term resistance sooner than I wanted to. So the last trade I showed you guys was this one where I accumulated in the short-term support, and I said I would prefer to see the price come down into this retracement area for me to want to add more and actually grow the position before it goes up. Instead, the price went up into short-term resistance, and I said if it does that, I'm just going to sell because it could just be a lower high before we come down into this red zone. So I sold. I'm glad I did because I showed it because I believe in yesterday's video, just because we did come down, so it worked out nicely. But now I finally have an opportunity, and this is very exciting. I bought where I wanted to, so I opened up the position 15 minutes before market close within the blue area. It's just to show that the price can come down here. I showed you guys how I got this area on a previous video. I think it was yesterday's video. But we did come down into it, and this was an opportunity for me to start a swing trade, and I added 50K into IBIT. The reason IBIT is because this rise was quite shallow. We didn't hit that 128K target yet because we kind of found a top a little bit sooner rather than later. And then, of course, we started forming a downtrend. So I didn't want to be too aggressive. IBIT instead of BitU, it's just it follows Bitcoin. It is not leveraged. So in this case, what I'm doing now, and I'm very excited the price is falling more because we get a chance to test these lows down here. Potentially the price could keep falling. It's trying to. It's quite oversold. There's a lot of momentum to the downside. So what I want to do now is, it is the weekend. If you guys been watching, when it comes to short-term trading, I like to trade ETFs. So I'm just gonna chill throughout the weekend, watch the price, because there's two ways this can play out, and I would rather the second way, the second I'm gonna explain. I would rather that play out than the first one. But the first scenario is we see a quick recovery out of here. We just come down. It was a very aggressive sell-off due to external factors, which is crazy because a lot of times there's a lot of fear and people are selling when the price falls due to external factors. In my opinion, if this is falling due to tariffs, and maybe some people are like, oh, maybe this will influence no rate cut. Well, the thing is, there's a lot of pressure. If you guys do research on, the US dollar and how the Fed is involved with it, like, they want to print a lot more money. They want to print money. There's a deficit. It is growing. They cannot go without printing aggressive amount of money a while. And to do that, they want to cut rates. But on top of that, we have, if you guys been looking at the jobs data, there's a lot of weakness in the jobs market right now. And that's another thing forcing the Fed to want to cut rates. Now, there's speculation that the tariffs could be a tactic to, force a lot of negative economic numbers to maybe potentially want to force the Fed to cut rates, cause some pain, to force them to want to fix it, and then we see a lot of upside in the markets. But the thing is, that's just speculation. I really don't care, and I really don't care what anyone thinks when it comes to short term or even long term Bitcoin. I do believe Bitcoin has a lot more upside before year end We're still early in Q4. The bull market's not done. There's no indication. A lot of the dips we've seen have never broken overall support, which is short-term deep value, purple areas. I mean, this one back here, I didn't color code it, but this one didn't even get broken into. This one we never broke to the, past the bottom, and then this recent one we didn't even fall into it. So there's still a lot of upside momentum. There's nothing telling me that the bull market's done just yet. And this dip we've seen today, if this is influencing a lot of people to say the bear market, like this is it, well, this is just external factors. We've seen this happen so many times in the past where Bitcoin just drops due to, some macro headlines that just scare the market. And to me, this is a great buying opportunity. So what I'm doing is that I bought IBIT exactly where I said I would, overlapping supports. Support obviously failed due to this external news headline, but I'm glad I'm in. I have to wait over the weekend into next week for the US market to open so I can have access or actually see like IBIT trade. But the thing is, first scenario is a quick recovery. All this fear, we just see a quick recovery out of it. Who knows what other macroeconomic news we can see within the next few days. But the idea here is that I have exposure at a price I find personally attractive, especially without it hitting the 128K price target yet. That's an area I'm very much focused on. So with this being said, again, I'm seeing a lot of upside. If we see, I still believe there's a lot of upside, but if we see a quick recovery out of this, then cool, it goes up, but I'm only going to have the exposure for the short-term trading, the exposure I just showed you guys, which is fine. But if we can now, because we broke these two overlapping support areas basically at 115K, since we broke below that, I can now refocus on short-term deep value at 107K. Now, if the price, and this is my ideal scenario, if you can see continued weakness into next week, and this actually makes Bitcoin fall down to 107K or even below 107K, this, it can go all the way down to 93K. But the thing is, if we see any price action below 107K, I would really like to buy some BitU. I would really like to be more aggressive within this price range below 107K with BitU and complement IBIT how I've been wanting to do. Last time, again, I had another opportunity to accumulate here and add BitU down here. I added IBIT, but instead we went up to short-term resistance, so I sold. And this happened like a few times. But now, and great, like I locked in a small amount of profit, like I'm not complaining. But the thing is, I finally have an opportunity to build up a short-term swing trade for the rest of this bull market at prices much more attractive and prices that can allow me to add BitU as well. So what I'm looking at, again, guys, because I'm kind of repeating the same thing over and over again, and I'll cover Mara and MSTR soon. I want to see them come down more. Like I really don't care about short-term noise fluctuations. I want to see Mara come back down below 16, into the 14s. I really want to see that, and I really want to see MSTR come down more aggressively as well. And we may see that next week. We will see. But the second scenario, again, if the price can continue weak and actually come down into short-term this deep value for short-term prices starting at 107K, I really want to add BitU to complement the IBIT position I have right here. But we are in where I want to be. I really like these prices. I mean, it briefly went underneath 110K, like super briefly, very shallow. But I already said before, anything under 120K, and I've said this when we were like back here as well, anything, in my opinion, under 120K is such an attractive price in Bitcoin. Why would I not want to? I mean, everyone's super optimistic when the price is going up. Like the price is going up like crazy. Everyone's optimistic. We start to see some red, which looks like a lot of red. But in the bigger picture, I mean, if you guys zoom out and look at the last 2 years or even this year, or even like this is not such an aggressive dip. But everyone's freaking out like it's the end of the world. Cool. If they want to sell, I'm buying because I really, really like Bitcoin underneath 120. I like Bitcoin especially due to macroeconomic factors, pushing the price below support, or at least short-term support. So yeah, 50k into IBIT. I'm hoping we can see more weakness below 107k so I can add BitU, but if not, if the prices ends up recovering, then well, we have exposure of IBIT, so I can't really complain about that. But yeah, as of right now, momentum is still down. Hopefully it keeps going down so I can get a better buying opportunity. This area before, we never actually broke into it, unfortunately, but we may have an opportunity now. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep you guys updated on this little trade. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna keep documenting it, and then we'll keep track of Bitcoin and see how the rest of this Q4 goes. But yeah, that's just my opinion on it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.